guys, it's Ashley and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new. So today, you guys, I am bringing you something a little different for this channel. I wanted to bring you guys the 24 books that I want to read in the year of 2024. So some of you may know, if you've been following me for a while, some of you may not, but I have had a second YouTube channel for years now. Actually longer than I've had this channel. And it was my booktube channel where I basically just talked about books all the time. But since I started my lifestyle channel, trying to keep up with both channels seemed like it was a bit too much for me. And I was already having a hard enough time trying to come up with material for my booktube channel because I don't read as much as I used to. So I felt like I wasn't giving my all to that channel. So I wanted to just kind of incorporate my book love onto this lifestyle channel because reading is a part of my lifestyle. Also, I would say that reading has become so much more, I guess you can say, more popular because of book talk lately. Like, books are everywhere. Everybody's talking about reading. I feel like so many more people have gotten into reading the past couple of years because of book talk. So I think that's awesome. Again, I have been a part of the book community for years. I think I started my booktube channel like 9 years ago. But again, it just started to be like I couldn't come up with the material to just have videos all the time for that channel. So I'm just going to incorporate it here, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And we can just talk about some popular books that maybe might sound interesting to some of y'all, and y'all can go out and get them. I know that the Target book section is just like crazy right now. So yeah, we're just going to talk about some books. But again, I want to talk about the top 24 books that I want to read in 2024. Now, these are books that I already own. That doesn't include books that I just haven't gotten yet, or books that haven't come out yet, because I'm sure there are plenty of books coming out in the year that I will want to read. These are just ones that are on my backlist that I've owned either for a while or I got last year that I just need to get to and I really want to read. So we're going to go through them, and maybe some of them will sound interesting to y'all. So let's go ahead and jump into these books. 24 didn't seem like a lot of books until I piled them all right here. And this is actually 22 because 2 of them I own on my Kindle. So yeah, this is 20. Y'all aren't even seeing the whole thing, but like I'm not tall. I'm not tall, and I am sitting down, but we're right here. The stack is right here. So also, I feel like if I had the other 2 books not on Kindle and like physical books, it would probably be taller than me. So yeah, but let's go ahead and jump into these. Most of these are, I'm gonna be honest, I think all of these kind of fall within the romance aspect, and then some are like sci-fi or fantasy romance, which I've gotten a lot into the past couple of years. So it's basically all romance. I read a lot of romance. I'll admit that. But yeah. Okay, I'll start with the 2 books that I don't have in the pile, the ones that are on my Kindle. So the first one is The Serpent of Wings and Night. This one I know a little bit about. I know when it first came out, everybody was loving it. I want to say is a fantasy romance, and I believe it has something to do with a tournament and vampires. And that's all I know. And I think the main character doesn't have powers, I think is the gist of what I've heard from it. I feel like so many fantasy romance books kind of like involve either somebody doesn't have powers, there's some kind of tournament, some mythical creature thing, like that's the gist of fantasy romance. But alas, I'm starting to read them all. So everybody said that one's really good. I'm intrigued by it, so we'll see if I get to it and if I'll enjoy it. And I believe that one is a duology, and the second book is already out in that one. So I got a lot of reading to do on that. So yeah. Okay, the next book that I want to read, this one came out a couple of years ago, and every single person that I've seen that has read this book has absolutely loved it. And it's just been sitting in my Kindle library for about a year now, so I need to get to it. But that is going to be Legendborn, and I just realized I don't remember the author's name of this book, but This one, I believe, is a YA fantasy, so I don't believe there's too much romance in this one. But all I know, it is YA. It is a BIPOC series, and I believe it is becoming... I believe there's going to be 4 books total. I think originally it was supposed to be a trilogy, but I believe there's a 4th book that's supposed to come out. But everybody has raved about this book. Everybody has loved it. I don't read a lot of YA anymore, but because of how much everybody has said they loved it, I just felt like I couldn't pass this one up. So I need to get to this one, and I need to read it. And I love the cover of this book. It's beautiful. So yeah, I need to read that. The first book is The Fine Print. This is by Lauren Asher. This is a romance series, and I believe there's 3 books in this series, and each one follows a different couple. This one looks like it's Rowan and Zara, I believe is how you say her name. I don't know too much about these. I just know people really like them. I know people really love Lauren Asher. I know she just had another book that came out that people were raving about that I can't think of the title. It has a purple cover. I'm pretty sure that's Lauren Asher. But I know people loved this series, and I know people have loved that new book that came out by her. So I'm hoping to get to this one. Hopefully I will enjoy it. And yeah, I like these series that are like companion series where it's not just the same person in each book, but you're like reading like another couple within the series, so they're companions. It's not like a continuous story kind of thing. I like series like that, which I believe a lot of romance series do now. So that's pretty cool. I like that. But yeah, this is one. All right. Well, the next book that I got is Check and Mate. This is by Ali Hazelwood. I just realized this is a YA book, and I did not know that. I picked this one up just because it's Ali Hazelwood, and I've read all of her other books except for another one that's on this list that I will show you later. But I love her books. I love her writing. Her first book, The Love Hypothesis, I purely picked that book up because it was a Raylo fanfic, and I love Raylo, and I absolutely love that book. So I'm reading all of her books. And I literally just have this one and one other one that I haven't read yet. And yeah, I couldn't tell you anything about this book. I know nothing about this book. Literally just read the back and realized that it was a YA book. And yeah, it's by Ali Hazelwood. That's all I know about it. So hopefully I like it. I've liked all of her other books that I've read. So we'll see. I think this one just came out recently too. I picked it up, I want to say around Thanksgiving is when I picked this one up. So yeah, I don't think it's been out that long. But again, I don't know anything about it. I purely picked this up because it was Ali Hazelwood. She's one of my auto-buy authors just because I've loved her books so much. So that's why I have this. We'll see how it goes. Okay, this was also an auto-buy because of the author, because I've loved multiple of her books. So I picked this one up. I do know one person has read this book and she enjoyed it. So that is good. I don't know if this one's becoming a series or if it is a series or if there's another book in it. I legit don't know. I bought this because of the author, purely. But that is Court of the Vampire Queen by Katie Robert. I love Katie Robert's writing. She writes romance, and she writes smutty romance, and like really smutty romance. But I do enjoy her series that she has. My favorite is the Wicked Villain series, which is like I guess it's the Disney characters kind of, but like reimagined in a way. So like book 1 is Jafar, Jasmine, and Aladdin is the bad guy, basically. Like it's like that. But it's a whole romance like series, and each book is, again, like I said, it follows like a different couple and stuff. I just love it. So I just like Katie Roberts' writing. So I picked this up. I have read Neon Gods. Also, I've started that series. So this is just something else by her that I wanted to pick up. I'm assuming it has something to do with vampires. I don't really know much about this, but it's Katie Robert, and my friend read it and she really liked it. So I picked it up. This is actually pretty thick for her books. I feel like most of her books aren't that long, but this one seems like longer than usual. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I got this. And I love the covers of her books. They're just like vibrant, dark if that makes sense. I know that those kind of contrast what I just said, that it's like a contradiction of vibrant and dark, but I just love the covers of her books. And yeah, this is a nice cover. So yeah. Okay, this one I'm probably going to get talked about because I have not read this, but that's okay. We are a work in progress. You guys clearly see I have lots of books that I need to read. But this next book that I need to read is Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. I have not read the full Throne of Glass series. And if I will link it down below, honestly. The very first video that I ever posted on YouTube was a book haul from 9 years ago. And I hauled Throne of Glass. Do you want to know when I read Throne of Glass? This past year. I read it like this past October. It took me that long to read that book. So I am behind on this entire series. I'm upset because I only own Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight in these original covers. And you can't find these original covers anywhere else. And I want my books to match. So I don't know how I will be able to have the whole series to match these, but I don't know. But if you don't know anything about Throne of Glass, which I'm sure most people do, it follows a girl who was an assassin. She was imprisoned and she had to enter into this like tournament to get her freedom. And yeah, so that's basically what book 1 is about. And continuing on for the series, I believe there's, Jesus, I don't know how many books, 7 or 9 books in this series, I believe is the number. So clearly I am behind. And I know there's like a specific order that you're supposed to read them in because there is a novella, like a prequel novella that you're not technically supposed to read before book 1, which I didn't. But now I'm trying to remember when you're supposed to read it. So yeah, I got a lot to do with this series. So hopefully we'll get to this soon too. Okay, the next book that I want to read is going to be The Dead Romantics by Ashli. I believe it's Poston, whatever. But this is another romance book, and I believe this one also has some kind of Raylo fanfic kind of life to it, which was another reason that I picked it up. But again, I have also heard from multiple people that this is a very good book. They really enjoyed it. I'm hoping I will enjoy it as well. I don't remember specifics. I go off vibes when people say they like books. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on with this one. But I am here for a Raylo fanfic anytime you give me one. So yes. Okay, the next book that I want to talk about is The Kiss Curse. This is by Erin Sterling. This is book 2 in, I guess it's the X-Hex series. I did read the first book, the X-Hex, and it was a cute story. It's about this girl who's a witch. She lives in this town, and she cursed this guy like years ago, I believe when they were teenagers. And he leaves town, and he's gone for all these years, and then he comes back to town, and then the curse is just like, it comes alive once he hits town. And all these things start happening magic-wise in the town. That's kind of mishaps and all that. I don't know. It was cute. It wasn't my favorite, but it was a cute story to read. And I don't like starting series and then not finishing them. So I decided to go ahead and pick up The Kiss Curse, which is book 2. But I've actually heard I think people said they liked book 2 better than they liked book 1. So that's good to know. I didn't love book 1, but I enjoyed it enough to read book 2. So we'll see how this one goes. Again, I think this one follows different characters from from the first book. Like, they were characters in book 1, but not the main character. So it's following like another couple. But I don't know the exact premise of this, but that's what I know. But yeah, we'll see. This is probably, when I read the X-Hex, I think it was around Halloween time. So I think this will probably be a Halloween time book as well. Why was that so hard to say? I don't know. But yeah, anyways. Okay, this next book that I want to read, this is Girl Gone Viral. This is by Alicia Rai. This is also a companion book in a romance series. And the first book is The Right Swipe. And I absolutely loved that book. It was so good. It was like unexpectedly good. I didn't realize I was going to enjoy it as much as I did, but it was so good. So the first one is about this girl who owns a dating app. company, and she like doesn't really believe in dating and all this. And I think she had, did they have a one night stand, or did they just like kind of meet one night? But it was with some guy, and she like never saw him again. And she's trying to, I'm so bad at giving synopsis. I'm just trying to remember it, but I really enjoyed this book. So it was this guy, and then she never sees him again. And then it's like present time, and she's trying to buy this other dating app company. And the nephew of the owner is like in charge of everything, because I think the owner lady, she's kind of like, I don't know if she has dementia or what, but she was just like going through some health stuff. So he was taking over stuff. And it just so happens to be the guy that she had met years ago, who is also an ex-NFL player. And he quit football because of the risk of CTE. And so they talk about that a lot in the book, which I thought was really nice that they touched on that subject. But it's honestly a sweet story, and it's just a really good book. I think I really liked it because I feel like since I've gotten into romance, a lot of books have like focused a lot on the smut and not so much the romance and the storyline. But I felt like this story just touched on so much more than that, and I loved that about it. I just loved that story. So I'm hoping I will love this one just as much. You guys can tell I really, really did like The Right Swipe. So if you haven't read The Right Swipe, read that one too, and then get to this one. This is book 2 in the series. And I believe this one follows the sister of the main character from the first one in this book. But yeah, I can't wait to get to this one. I want to say she's like a social media influencer. I want to say. I'm not quite sure. But yes, read The Right Swipe, and then read this one. All right. Okay, if the quality changed, I had to change cameras. Anyways, see how long this lasts. You guys, I cannot find the charger to this camera. So we're going to see how long this battery lasts. Hopefully it'll get me through this video. Okay, the next book that I want to read, I've been trying to read this for a while, and I just keep putting it down, but I need to read it. But that is Fake It Till You Bake It. This is by Jamie Wesley. This is another romance book, and it's a Black romance, and it's an author of color, and that's all I know about it. I don't I don't really know much more about it. I do remember people saying they really liked it. It's about baking. I love to bake. It's a BIPOC author. I'm here for it. Hopefully I get to it soon. This feels like a summer read to me, so hopefully I'll get to it this summer. I have all these aspirations to read this book, and I'm about to have a baby. Like, who told me I have time for all these books? But we'll see how it goes. Okay, the next one I picked up. I gotta learn what these books are actually about. But anyways, but I got Dating Dr. Dill. This is by Nisha Sharma. And again, this is just another romance. It is a BIPOC author, and I've heard a lot of good things about it. People said they really enjoyed it. I don't know much about it, but here it is. It seems like it's a good book. I gotta learn synopsis of books before I buy them. I really do. But I watch people's videos. They say they enjoy them, so I'm like, oh, maybe I'll like it. And here we are. So I got this one. Okay, this next book is a very recent purchase, and I think I've seen like maybe 1 or 2 people talk about this one, but it just seemed right up my alley, and I'll tell you why. But that is The Fake Mate, and this is by Lana Ferguson. So this one is basically a fake dating trope, and they are scientists, I want to say, or doctors. Are they doctors? Maybe they're doctors. I think they're doctors. Oh, God. But it just, honestly, you guys heard me earlier raving about the love hypothesis, and it was giving me love hypothesis vibes. The cover is the storyline. It's fake dating. I think he's like a mean doctor trying to impress people, and she's trying to show her family. I don't know. It's fake dating. I know that. And I believe they're doctors. It has science to it. That's why it reminded me of the love hypothesis, and it just sounded good. I had to pick it up. I love the fake dating trope. I don't know why I do, but yeah, I got this. This next book, speaking of the love hypothesis, is Love Theoretically by Allie Hazelwood. It's Allie Hazelwood. This was the other book that I have not read by her. So I've read The Love Hypothesis. I've read, what is that other one called? I had to look up what that book was called. Okay, so I've read The Love Hypothesis. I've read Love on the Brain. I have read the novella, was it Loath to Love You? Loath to Love You. That consists of the 3 novellas. So I've read all of that by her. So I just need to read Love Theoretically and Check Inmate by Allie Hazelwood. She's a new favorite author of mine. So I have this. I believe I pre-ordered this book before it even came out, and that's how long I've had it, and I just haven't read it. It was in my car for the longest time. I kept forgetting to get it out of the car and read it. So here we are. But I have it. I want to read it. I think people really enjoyed this one too. I loved The Love Hypothesis. Love on the Brain was good. It wasn't my favorite, but I've heard people like this one better from what I've heard. So we'll see how this one goes. But Allie Hazelwood, again, she's just an auto-buy author for me now. So yeah. All right, this next book, I feel like I kind of missed the hype of when it first came out. And I believe book 2 is already out in this one, in the series, but I have it. So yeah, anyways. But that is going to be Legends and Lattes. This is by Travis Baldry, I think is how you say that last name. I'm not exactly sure. Sorry if I butchered that. This one I don't believe is really any fantasy. I believe this is like a cozy... What did I say? I don't think this has any romance. That's what I meant to say. I don't think this is necessarily a romance. It's like a cozy fantasy book. And I believe it's about this... I believe she's an ogre. And she like was in the army or something like this, and she wanted to just like get out of the violent lifestyle, and so she wanted to open like a cafe, and I believe that is what this book is about. But everybody that has read it loved it and raved about it and said it's just a cute cozy little fantasy book. So I picked it up. There is a book 2 that is already out, which I believe somebody said is a prequel to this one. I'm not exactly sure about that, but it sounded cute. It sounded interesting. Again, I love fantasy books, so hopefully I'll like this one. We'll see. I wholeheartedly told myself that because I was having a baby this year, that I feel like I couldn't commit to reading a bunch of series, and I needed like a lot of standalones. And I feel like majority of these books that I have talked about already, and the ones that I will talk about that are still to come, are in series. So I didn't listen to myself at all. But they're books that I want to read, so that it's fine. It's fine. All right, the next book is book 1 in a series. Shocker. But that is going to be Twisted Love, and this is by Anna Huang. Huang, I think is how you say her last name. But this one, I believe this series has been out for a while because I think the original covers were different. I think the original covers had like a guy on them. But yeah, I think this series consists of 4 books, and they each follow a different couple. I've kind of heard mixed things on this series. Like, I think people love some books in the series and not others. So we'll see how it goes. But I think book 1 was a good one that I think everybody enjoyed. So I'm hoping book 1 is good enough to where I'll want to keep reading the rest of the series. But we'll see. But again, all I know about this is it's a romance series. I believe it follows brothers. I believe the male characters are brothers. But don't quote me on that. I don't know for sure. But yes, this is book 1 of this series. Okay, this next book, I'm actually upset at myself that I have not gotten to this book because everybody has raved about it and it sounds like so up my alley and something that I would absolutely love. I had every intention of reading it like around Halloween time this past year. I'm actually in a book club with my mom, and I was going to suggest this book, but I didn't know if anybody else would want to read it, so I didn't suggest it, but I probably should have because I really want to read it. But anyways, but that is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. This, I've heard, is just like the cutest, sweetest story. It's like found family, it has witches, it's just, everybody just said it's just like a cozy, cute, witchy romance, and that just sounds right up my alley. I just love stories like that. Everybody said it's good. It is an author of color, and I just want to read it. I don't know why I haven't read it. I need to get to it soon because everybody has loved it, and I just feel like I will too. So Yes, and I just love this cover. It's just so cute. It's just so cute. I just want to read it. Yeah, we're so close. We're so close. Okay. All right, this next book is actually a book 2 in a series. So I have started this one. And I just recently read book 1 and I really enjoyed it. It actually had me laughing out loud. I believe this is my most recent book purchase that I've gotten. But this is A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch. So this is book 2 in a companion series. The first book is, what is it? A Guide to Fake Dating. Wait, A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon is the title of the first book. And this one is A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch. So again, this is like a companion series. This one follows another couple. It's another witch and another demon. And the first book literally had me laughing out loud. I thought it was so good and so funny. And the characters, the main characters that are going to be in this book were actually 2 of my favorite characters from the first book. So I love that they are getting their own story. And I think this one will probably make me laugh out loud too. I love the covers of these books too. Again, it is up my alley. It's a romance, witches, there's demons, mythical creatures. It's me. Okay, but I loved book 1. So check out book 1 if you haven't already. And then this is book 2. I believe this one just came out. So yeah, I'm excited about this. Okay, the next book. This one, I actually got this as a Christmas gift. I just heard about this series, but apparently I believe book 3 is out in this series. It just came out and I hadn't heard anything about this series until recently, but I wanted to try it out because why not? But this is King of Wrath. This is by Anna Huang. So this is the same author as Twisted Love. This is her newest series. There's King of Wrath, King of Pride, and I don't know. But this is the King of Sin series. That's the name of the series. I don't know anything about this series. I really don't. I just saw people were really excited about the 3rd book that had recently come out, which I believe is King of Pride. And I was intrigued and I was like, oh, I need to start this series too because it's a whole nother series. Shocker. I believe this is fantasy romance too. Don't know much about it. I should, but I don't. But we'll see how it goes. But again, people were very excited about that 3rd book, so I'm guessing this is a very good series. So I'm gonna try it out and we'll see. Also, Target, stop putting these stickers on your books. Drives me insane. Alright, this next book is in a series, but it is book 3, so we are even further along in the series. Look at me reading a series. Go me. But that is The Crown of Gilded Bones, and this is by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is book 3 in the From Blood and Ash series, and I love this series. And I am scared to continue on in it because after this book, people have not enjoyed the series. Like, book 4 is, what's that one called? The War of Two Queens. People did not love. So I'm a little worried because I enjoyed book 1 and book 2 so much. And I've heard good things about book 3. But once you hit book 4, it's like, no. So that's a little disappointing. But I am excited about this one. If you don't know what From Blood and Ash is about, God, what is her title? Is she like a maiden? The main girl's like a maiden or something, I think. And she like has to be hidden all the time. And her protector guy, they like kind of fall for each other. And just, I was about to give away the story. I can't give it away. It's a good fantasy romance series. Just read it and check it out. They are super long books. I will admit that. This book is super thick. They are all very thick, but the storyline, I just love it. They're very good. I loved From Blood and Ash. I loved that book. Book 2 took me a minute to get into, but towards the end, I was hooked. And so now I need to read book 3 and figure out what happens and figure out why people don't love book 4. I need to know why they don't love it. So, yes, but check out this series. I think I kept fighting myself on reading this book. I don't know why. But I feel like part of it is because it's in a series, and I read the other books in the series, and I felt like I didn't need this book, but it's here. It's here. And I think I've heard that there's supposed to be more books coming in this series. So, that's interesting. But that is going to be A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. This is the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and I love the first 3 books. A Court of Mist and Fury is just chef's kiss. If you are out there, because I know there are people out there, if you have only read the first book, A Court of Thorns and Roses, please keep reading the series. I promise it gets better. And I loved A Court of Thorns and Roses. Like, I thought it was great. And I started getting spoilers before I finished book 1, and I didn't understand the spoilers. It didn't make sense to me. But if you keep reading the series, I promise they make sense, and it gets so much better. Book 1 is good, but book 2 is just, it's just chef's kiss. It's so good. So please read the whole series. Just keep going. Anyways, I'm ranting, but I just love this series. And this book, first off, I was mad when this book came out because they completely changed the covers. And I have the original covers of the first 3 books. And so this doesn't match. And there's not a matching, like, there's no version of the original covers for this book. So that was one thing that bugged me. Also, this one is super crazy thick. I don't even know. And I know who this book mainly follows, which one is not one of my favorite characters, but I've heard this book is good. It is in the series that I love, so I feel like I need to finish it, but I was a little mad when this one came out, so I kind of protested on not reading this book, but I feel like I'm to the point now where I need to read it, get it done, and again, I think I heard that they announced that there's supposed to be like 3 more books in this series. Who it's following, I don't know, so we'll see. But yes. But again, I know I went on a whole rant, but like, seriously, if you have read A Court of Thorns and Roses, or if you're in the middle of book 1, just please keep reading the series. It gets better, I promise. I promise it does. Okay. I'm mainly saying that because I've seen so many people complain that they didn't love the first book, and so they're like, they just forget about the rest of the series, but I promise it gets better. It gets so much better. Alright, that's the last I'm gonna say. We're moving on. Okay, this next book is, I mainly want to read this one just because I know this author has gotten really popular. I own 2 of her books and I haven't read them yet, and I believe this is at the top of my list of her books, so I just want to see if I will enjoy her writing like a lot of people do. But that is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. So I know she has a couple books out. She has Beach Read, which I also own, People We Meet on Vacation, and then Happy Place, which I think won like best romance of 2023 on Goodreads, or was one of the best romances. I can't remember exactly, but I know it was on the list, so I know people love her writing. I know people love her books. I just haven't read any of them yet, and I figured since I am a book lover, I should probably start with the one that's called Book Lovers. See if I enjoy it. I don't know. We'll see. I've heard mixed things about her writing. We'll see how it goes, but I'm intrigued by this, so we'll see if I like it. How many times can I say we'll see? We'll see. Okay, this one, I missed the hype on this one. I was really late on the hype on this one, but I got it eventually, so here we are. And that's going to be Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. The instant hype that this book had when it came out was wild to me. Like, everybody was raving about this book. It was sold out everywhere. I have so many friends that have already read it, and they're like, Ashley, why haven't you read it? I don't know. I hadn't bought it. So I bought it, and I still haven't read it. And book 2 is already out, Iron Flame, and I know people have already raved and loved it. Like, I think it was to the point where it was so hyped that I didn't want to read it because I was like, everybody loves it, which means I probably won't love it, but we'll see. It sounds like something I would love. So all I know about this is I believe it takes place at a school. It's a fantasy romance and there's dragons. That's what I know about it. But the amount of people that were obsessing about this book was kind of crazy. I don't think the second book was as well received as this first book. So we'll see how that goes. Also, I think there's some controversy going on with the author, but I don't know exactly what it is. I just, people are hit or miss with her right now, so I don't know. It's on the list. Everybody has talked about it. I just feel like I need to read it because everybody else has read it, and I own it. And it sounds like something I would enjoy, so we'll see, but I don't know if my hype will be as exciting as everybody else's hype on it. I don't know. We'll see. All right. 2 more books, you guys. So this second to last book, this is part of a series that I have not started. Shocker. And it is by an author that I have already read books from, but am still missing books in other series by her. Shocker. But this is The House of Earth and Blood, Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. I believe this is within the same world as the ACOTAR series. I want to say it is. Like, I think you're supposed to read them both. Or actually, I think all of her worlds are intertwined, so I need to read Throne of Glass too. I don't know. There's so many. There's so many. But this is a book 1 in this series. Can't tell you a single thing about this book. I don't know anything about this book. I picked it up because it is Sarah J. Maas, and everybody has raved about it. Book 3 comes out this month sometime. I don't know when, but it's coming out soon. Most of my friends have read this. They're on their rereads of this. I've seen people have said they've read this book 3 times already, and I haven't read it at all. And book 3 is coming out soon. So, again, I am behind on Sarah J. Maas. She just has so many books. I can't keep up. That was a rant. But she has so many, and they're all intertwined now. So now I gotta figure out, is there a specific order now that all 3 of these series are kind of intertwined? Like, is there a certain order that I need to read them, like, together? Let me know if you guys know. But I just know I need to read this one and get to this one so I can continue on with this one. I do own book 2 of this one, and I will probably go get book 3 so I can have all the books. But I just need to know what happens in book 1. So, yeah. Okay, last book. Book number 24 is probably the most disappointing book on my list that I have not read. And this is more of a nostalgia kind of thing for me. This is like a nostalgia thing for me of why it's so disappointing that I haven't read this book. And I know that there are people out here that are going to see me pick up this book and just be so disappointed. And I get it. I get it. I'm disappointed in myself because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, book 24 is Midnight Sun by Stephenie Meyer. What is wrong with me? I have a whole video on my booktube channel talking about this book when we found out that it was actually getting released. Let me go back. Let me go back for you guys. I was a bit obsessed with Twilight when it came out. Like, that's kind of like, that's like an understatement. I was obsessed. I've been to Forks, Washington, okay? I had Twilight memorabilia everywhere. In my college dorm rooms, because I was in college. I was in college when the hype of Twilight was out, okay? I was in college. So I, like, obsessed with Twilight, right? And I've read the Midnight Sun, the part that was leaked online that Stephenie Meyer had on her website. I read all of that. So Midnight Sun, if you don't know, is Twilight from it's Twilight from Edward's point of view. And it's honestly so much better from his point of view. I can't still stand Bella Swan. Can't stand her, okay? As much as I love that series, she's an idiot. Anyways. But the chapters that she had on her website from Edward's point of view is so much better than from Bella's point of view. So when this was announced, I bought it instantly. I've had this since the day that it was released. Literally the day that it was released, I bought this book. And I have not read it. I don't know if it's because I'm just like, I already know the story. I know what happens. So I just keep avoiding it. But I need to read it because it's Edward's point of view and everybody loves it. It's so much better from his point of view. So what am I doing? Being a fake Twilight fan is what I feel like. I don't know. But if I don't read it this year, something's wrong. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I just need to read it and just stop putting myself through misery of not reading it. So this is book 24. Okay. Okay, so those are all of the books that I want to read in 2024. I've set a goal for myself to read 25 books this year, which is actually pretty low for me. I've set my goals higher in years past, but because I'm having a baby soon, I just know that I'm probably not going to be reading books like I have in the past. I don't know. I can count baby books, but I'm sure I'll be reading a lot of baby books to him. But yeah, these are the books that I really would love to get to. I do listen to a lot of audiobooks. That helps me get through books faster. My husband did get me an Audible subscription for Christmas, which I'm so thankful for. So I am hoping that maybe while I'm just, you know, chilling with baby, I can be listening to an audiobook at the same time and help me get through this stack of books. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I know this is different for this kind of channel. I just feel like it's going to be too much for me to try and keep up with both channels, so I'm just going to add some book content here and there on this channel, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys have discovered some new books that maybe you might want to try out. If you have some books that you would like me to try out, please comment down below and let me know what they are. I am always open to new books. You guys know, you can see the kind of books that I read: fantasy, romance. That's my genre. Okay, that's me. So if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe down below. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.